All right, so next let's get started with our did complete with authorization block. Okay, so similar to our did complete with error, let's add our logger. Okay, and then next we'll do a switch statement on the authorization credential. Okay, as you can see right here, just go back ASAuthorizationController credential. So information provided about a user after a successful authentication. Okay. All right, so let's add our cases, right? So first case will be credential registration. Okay, and we'll make this as a AS authorization platform key public key credential provide not provider registration. Okay, so as you can see, a newly created platform credential that results from a credential registration request. So this is where whenever a user has successfully generated a new passkey, this is where we will handle that in this case. And let's add the rest of our cases first. Okay, so next case is going to be a credential assertion. Okay, and this will be a type of AS authorization, platform, public key, credential assertion. And this is whenever a user has used a previous passkey that they've already created to log in. So we'll handle our case here whenever that happens. Okay, and then we also have to add a default case since this is a switch statement. In case none of this happens, we'll say receive unknown authorization type. Okay, all right, so next, let's see, actually, believe we had to add log messages here. We'll complain. So we'll do logger. Oh, sorry. Logger dot log message. A new passkey has been registered. Passkey was used to sign in. Hopefully that goes away. Okay, perfect. All right, so next we need to start with our credential registration block inside here. So this block will be hit when a user has just registered, right, a new passkey. And this is where we will grab the attestation object and client data JSON object from our credential registration object. And we'll extract that and send it back to our server for verification and the final steps for the WebAuthn registration. So just to show you back in our server, if we go to, let's see, our authentication right here, or actually I believe it's no, sorry, our make credential route right here. If you look into the registration credential model right here, and we look into this and just to show you the properties. Okay, so these will be the properties that we need that we'll pass into our parameters inside over here when we make our URL request, right, to send to our back the object from our iOS project back to the server, right? So it needs a type of ID and also raw ID type, raw authenticator attestation response. So if you look into this, this is where our client data JSON and our attestation object will be in. So let's see, let's go back here. Okay, and believe that from here, let's see if we're missing anything else that I should clarify with. Okay, see, so our ID will be raw response.id, and a raw sorry, a regular ID, and our raw ID will be type data, and it'll convert it to data directly. So we can just pass our string from our iOS project. So let's let's go back and construct our objects that we need to return back. Okay, so let's start with the just to show you the reference back. Let's start off with the I guess we do the ID first, right? So let's do credential ID object base64 equals our credential registration dot credential ID dot base64 encoded string. Okay. All right. Next thing, we also need our raw ID, and as you can see, it's going to convert it to data anyways on our server side, so we might as well just do the same thing as well. Keep it as a string, right? So we'll do raw ID object, and then we'll just paste that since it's the same thing. Okay, and then the next thing we need is our, show you, our response. Let's see. I believe it's our response object right here, right? Which is our client data JSON and attestation object. Okay, so go back. We'll do let raw ID object equals our credential registration dot credential. I'm sorry, raw ID client data JSON. Okay, and we also have the base64 encoded. We pass it back. Okay, and then next thing we need, oops, client data JSON base64. Okay, next we need sorry, attestation object 64. Okay, and we'll do that and grab that from our, there we go, attestation object. Believe this is optional. Okay, actually, we need to change this. So we need to make this a guard let station object. Since it's an optional, else it'll just return, do logger dot log error getting. Okay. All right. Okay. Perfect. So now we have everything so far. Leave. Just had to construct it with the following, right? So let's go back. Okay. So first thing, let's do our parameters, right? So let parameters type of string any. Okay. Okay. So just to show you, we need our ID, raw ID, response, and type, right? And raw be our client data JSON, attestation object, and our response will be our, yeah, believe, actually, hold up. Let's see. Response object. Okay, just to make sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We'll do ID. Be credential registration. Raw ID will be our raw ID object. Okay, and then response will be a type of response objects which we will need to create. So let's do let response object string any. Okay, so we'll have our client data JSON plus our client data JSON base64 attestation object will be our station object base64. Okay, and then we just pass that in to our response. And then if we look back at let's see, at our type, it already has type public key, right? So we can just put type string public key. Okay, I believe that should be it. Let's see. And then let's see. Looks like I'm missing a comma here. Okay. All right. So now that we have all our parameters set up, all we gotta do is make the request. Okay. So we'll do fire request and passed in our register begin API endpoint. For our method, we'll do post instead of our get this time, and then pass in our parameters. Just to make sure to go back. Make sure we have the right API endpoint. Yeah, make credential. Yep. Make credential. Yep. All right. Okay. All right. So back on our parameters, pass in our parameters right here. Okay. All right. Encoding will be JSON. Okay. And then we'll take it out. We'll fire return back our response data. Okay. And then we'll just put response data coming back in. All right. Okay, perfect. All right. So in here, we'll add our switch statement on the status code. So you know, if we get a successful response back, we can present that means that everything has been successfully registered with WebAuthn, and then we can sign in our user. We can post our put our notification to post in our view controllers to lead or to present the main view controller once everything has been successful, right? So we'll do case 200 for our successful response. And for here, we'll say we can just do a print or a log. Or no, let's just do a regular. Let's see. Do I have a... No, it's outside. Okay, so let's just do print successfully logged. Oh, not logged. Registered user on WebAuthn logging in user now. Okay. All right. So let's see if I have that did finish sign in. Perfect. All right. So we'll sign in the user and then case dot none. All right. We'll just put print. Oops. Response not found. And then lastly, in case we come back with something, some kind of case, we'll just put print unknown response. Let's see if I could do a string describing response data. Let's see, just make sure. Okay, let's see. Oh, forgot to add the switch statement here. No wonder. Let's do response data dot response dot status code. Oopsies. All right. Hopefully this works now. Just make sure. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Make sure. This data dot response dot status code. Okay. All right. Okay. And that's it. Yeah. And that should be it for a user to register a WebAuthn credential using Apple's Passkeys. So in the next video, we can move on to this side of the thing with the credential assertion whenever the user uses their generated passkey to sign in. But yeah, we can start with that on the next video.